Oh boy.
Hello everybody and welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games and our 5th edition campaign, the Benefactor. I'm joined here today by Kate. Again, I'm having to read it off every
14 episodes in and you can't remember our bloody names.
Kate, Nick, Corinne, Rodrigo and Felicia. And hello Ron. As we rejoin at a point in the story where the guys have got themselves into a little bit of high society and are in the middle of a soiree, a dance, that Glory has managed to get them into, hoping that they can rub shoulders with influential people to be able to solve some of the odd goings-on that they've already spotted and, well, generally just achieve some of Glory's aims. Welcome to everybody who's in the chat already, and I'm hoping to see a few more today. We've been retweeted, our usual announcement that's done, well, just before I leave work, frankly, was retweeted by a few people. So thank you very much, everybody out there who's retweeting and passing the word around for more people to be at our table.
Hello, right. Tim. We love you, Tim.
Is Tim in there as well?
And Rowan.
Hey, stick on.
So,
well, Tim said he was watching, so I assume he's watching.
And hello, I'm going to probably butcher names, but hello, Sikian, and also welcome to our Discord. So, let's get everybody into the scene, shall we? A joyful adagio is playing from the small orchestra in the corner of this grand hall. The scene is something bright and beautiful, and you can see as the young elite of this city are dancing and flirting, cavorting and drinking, enjoying every part of the excess available here in this city. Elsewhere, you see a number of the older generation, whether they be patrons of these people or older members of the family, making sure that they are cavorting and misbehaving with the right people. This is very much a game. This is where families will join together in certain alliances and bonds, friendships that then turn into something hopefully greater in later years. It's a game that many people play, and even those who aren't a member of the powerful factions and families of this city have turned up, getting themselves through the doors by whatever means necessary to raise their status within the city. One such person who's been invited by a mysterious agent of the consortium is Glory, played by Felicia. And suited and booted after an extensive shopping episode, you guys have made quite the scene, stepping into this scene and starting to interact with the people within. Already, Aiden has managed to show a little bit of dare and do, and now has a duel for the sunrise the next morning. Glory herself has started to cut a rug and has found herself amongst a bunch of pleasant people, and now dancing with a man in his later years, a tall, bald-headed human who has, at last session, said, "So how is Renata Green?" And that's where we'll come in just a second. Also, last session, Eclipse of the Moon managed to deliver a summons to one of the members of the Dwarvish Business Council here in Ostigard. He's still under a charm person spell for the next not in-game, in-world 30 minutes. So we're going to let the rest of this night pan out and carry on with the adventure. So, Glory. The world is turning around, people laughing, people being generally beautiful or suave or dapper or charming in many different ways, probably more than I have adjectives to describe them. And you are dancing, I'm not going to say in the arms of, but you're dancing with a tall, bald-headed human guy clearly of good breeding. The way he acts, the way he came up, the way he bowed to you, you managed to cold read him in a second. You've been around people like this before. A man of old money and potentially old values. He's wearing the brocade and piping of a noble within the city. He doesn't seem to have any insignias on him, and he's dressing mostly in darker colors, blacks, dark velvet. And he's just said to you, "So how is Renata Green?"
She is well. And who might be asking?
An interested ally of the city. Well, for now, an ally, at least. I must admit, you did cause me some interesting hours of my life when you killed some of my men.
Really?
So tell me,
I know it.
did you get commanded directly by Renata to kill my men?
Now, isn't that for me to know and you to wonder?
Oh, I wonder, Miss Glory. I wonder a great deal. You see, chances are I would have killed them before the end of the day anyway. All it would have taken from Renata was for her to explain to me their misbehaviour, and I would have done her the courtesy of delivering their heads, or any other part that she asked for to confirm their death or punishment. That's how I work, you see. I am a man of discourse. I choose to be a man that, instead of taking power, and I have taken power, to take a more refined path, to control, to inspire loyalty, and to have any deviation from that loyalty or any deviation from my reputation punished. And he steps back as part of the dance, gives a curt bow and says, "I am the king." And then, as the dance would demand, he suddenly goes straight up and is locked in your arms again. And you notice that this guy is deceptively strong. So, tell me, Glory, what kind of person are you? What kind of persons do you represent in your merry little band?
I am me, just as everyone are themselves. And I represent glory.
Good. Glad to see it. Although I do say that you're flirting with me, madam. You're flirting with my hunger for knowledge, my hunger for understanding, giving me very little, throwing me platitudes. I will tell you something about myself. My name is Credar. That is my first name, my born name. That is the name that I give all of my loyal subjects to call me face to face. There is no Your Majesty, I wear no crown. I rule the Liberty Quarter because they choose for me to rule. I explain to them what is needed, explain to them how we can get there, and it is achieved. There is no starvation in the Liberty Quarter, where once starvation was the currency, a negative currency by which everything worked. You stole a loaf of bread because you were hungry. You betrayed somebody because you needed food. And so you get whatever coin you could, stealing recklessly, chaos everywhere, in order to feed your family, to stop watching your loved ones dying, begging in the street for scraps. I have a substantial following because I'm a man of practicalities and mechanisms. I have a talent for mechanisms. So, here I am, putting myself before you, giving you information. You're from the continent of Skara. Atalzaran, if I'm correct.
Indeed.
Good.
You've heard of it?
I make it my business to know of things. I may not be the richest man. Everything I get usually ends up being part of the mechanism I put surrounding me. But I make sure that I have the tools at my disposal. The library is one of them. He laughs, just randomly, and says, "So, how do you work? You clearly need a patron instead of playing the game on your own. I would have more respect for you if you're some sort of independent that I could deal with. It doesn't mean I would kill you. If I thought you were just some oafish rascal that killed my men just because they were there, it would have been different. But it's clear that you are looking for some sort of gain. I respect that glory. So, I say again, who are you? What do you want?"
Why? In this game of chess, I will be the queen. At some point, but not yet.
How very poetic of you. But if there's one thing that you should know, the queen's position has already been taken, and she outclasses you by a great deal. I'm afraid I tire of you, my lady. Thank you for the dance. He steps back, gives a very courtly bow, walks about 3 feet and disappears.
My oh my, that was interesting.
Someone is cutting through the crowd towards you, as everybody's kind of giving polite applause and all the rest of it. And as this person walks up, you can see that as she's walking up, she's wearing like a velvet jacket, velvet trousers, and indoor shoes, as in shoes you would never wear outside. She's got a white shirt with a bustle where the cravat would normally be, and she's got blonde hair and white skin, blue eyes, and she just looks like any requisite a white blonde girl. She walks straight up to you, and as she walks up to you, she grabs hold of your hand and says, "You need to explain yourself. Come with me now." And as she does so, her crystalline blue eyes turn into bright silver, flawless orbs. Just for a second.
Oh boy.
And then they turn back into regular eyes again, and she pulls you off the dance floor.
Do I see this? Sorry, Simon.
Yes.
Do I see this from where I am?
Yep, you absolutely do. The girl doesn't look angry. That's something that Glory would have picked up on. This girl is insistent. She wants to take Glory somewhere in private. You've seen this before. There's, let's say, scope for misinterpretation.
Okay, I'm gonna run down the stairs then. I'm flying into full panic.
Sure.
Wow.
Glory, are you going to resist this?
A lovely lady dragging me away? Hell no.
Okay. Okay, this is going to be interesting because a few things are going to go off in one because I'm going to switch to Kate very soon. I would like, God, what bloody roll do you do for cutting through a crowd? I'm going to say an intimidation roll, Mr. Barebones. I want an intimidation roll to see how well you command the crowd.
Can I use strength? Because I'm punching my way through.
Okay.
I want to use charisma.
Rugby scrum away. Rugby scrum away.
He's a big, strong boy.
He's a big, strong boy.
I can add my. We're agreeing that I can add my strength modifier to this, right?
God.
It's your strength modifier, yeah, and it's barging. So I would say your strength modifier plus your proficiency because you're proficient in pushing things.
That's good because I rolled a natural 18, so that's 25.
Okay.
Jesus fuck!
I am
Like,
mind
people-
backering this shit.
People are
Flinging
flying
Okay.
from the crowd.
Yep, you watch as Armani does the swamp thing, charges through the crowd, buffeting people left, right, and centre. There's women on impractical shoes going flying into the arms of men going, "Do you mind, sir? I have a good mind too." And then other people just, there's quite the scene as he's ploughing a path to glory. I'm going to say with that roll, yeah, you catch up with glory.
Oh, boy. Oh, hello, Farewell.
Are you okay? That looked rather intense. There's a lot of...
hope so. Yeah?
But... Who are you? What's going on? Who was that guy?
Oh, yeah, who are you? I turn to the lady.
She turns and says, "I am but a servant, Mr. Barebones. The patron of the dance has asked if Miss Glory will attend him in his office."
Are you good to go, or do you want to stay with us?
Well, my lady, miss, if he would like to meet me, would it be okay to bring my friends, my companions?
I think that would probably be beneficial.
Yes.
Oh, good. Oh.
I will point out that at this point, you look over and Cora is walking in the direction of a wood elf.
Oh, son of a... Don't move. Don't move.
Papa Farewell can't be in everywhere at once.
If this is in order, and how close was I to all of this? Because would I, like, if this was quite a kerfuffle, I might have been distracted enough to divert from what I was going to do. Like,
I'll give that you saw it. I'll give that you saw it. Even if you didn't see Glory's partner disappearing in the middle of the crowd, you will have seen Bowling Ball Farewell Barebones going through the crowd, and still people are trying to follow after him. They're like, "Excuse me, sir, excuse me, I think you'll find an apology is in order."
Yeah.
I
think I will be diverted across, so I'll be
I'm on my way to the bar.
Slightly torn, but worried that Farewell's something's going down that I'm distracted from.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel very silly.
I'm trying to keep a bit of an eye on that group as well, and the wood elf.
Sure.
So that I'm trying not to lose sight of them if they suddenly start to move, sort of thing.
Okay. I'm going to say that you cut through the crowd.
So, I'll head over.
So yeah, you get there just as they're finishing their conversation, and you do hear the end of, "Yes, I think it would be useful if you all explained yourselves."
What did I miss? What's going on?
We've been invited to speak with the host of the party.
A polite invite? Doesn't kind of look like that, looking at her face.
She turns and gives you the most saccharine and subservient grin that you can get.
I may have misinterpreted
Customer face.
her intentions. Considering I heard shouting coming from beneath us, and then a man disappear, and then someone rush over to Glory, I was expecting a lot more acid and a lot less dancing. Sorry, I've got a bit of a stitch. That was
Who are we going to see, and why? I'm asking
I don't.
Lady.
I don't know.
You're going to see the patron of the dance because he is asked to meet his guests. Does there need to be anything
Okay.
else?
Well, usually I would expect, a bow. He would like to see you, but you seem to be dragging Glory forcefully off a dance floor. That doesn't feel like someone who just wants to meet a guest.
Indeed, I've been quite direct. I'm told it's Glory's preferred way of communication.
Right.
She's not wrong there.
So, do we need to find Eclipse? Hold on. Eclipse was dancing with Farewell, so are they?
And then I'm
together?
walking to the bar to find Aiden.
Oh, that's right.
And I've been upstairs, so you've seen me leave, go upstairs, and then you've seen me
I can't remember the
barrel
layout. Wait,
barrel
what's
my
upstairs?
way in. A balcony, sort of like a balcony area that overlooks the dance floor. And then you've seen me come shooting down the stairs and hit my way across into the dance floor, thinking that I might be required to stop our good friend Glory from melting 3/4 of the patrons because they've upset her. Well, it turns out it's the furthest thing from the truth, and I may have upset the room.
I don't know. It kind of looks like someone else wants to melt someone's face off right now. Shall we find Eclipse and Aiden then, so that we're a whole group?
Oh, yes. The bar, I think.
Probably.
Tell you what, you grab them. I need to tell you something before I forget, before we get dragged into something else really quickly. 2 minutes.
Who are you talking to at this point?
Cora. Sorry, he'll be looking at Cora.
Sure. who
Look
are you
at the
telling
screen
to go
at
to the bar
person.
Sorry, there's
Who
two
did you
people
say
on.
to go to- Sorry.
I said
You said
I was
you go to
talking
the bar.
at
I need to talk to you.
Yeah, so I was talking at the person with the strange eyes because I want them to go away. I don't mind if Glory's there. She's part of the group. She's part of the party. She can stay. The person that's not part of the party needs to fuck off. Would be the intense direction he'd be giving because he.
She rolls her eyes in a very unservant-like way and says, "I'll be standing by the doors you need to go through," and just walks off. And you can tell as she's striding, about the first 3 or 4 steps are, because I know your passive insight, the first 3 or 4 steps, Farewell, basically look like any young urchin or street thug. The way she's walking is with attitude, and then she suddenly remembers herself, and suddenly it's back straight, shoulders back, and she's daintily walking amongst the crowd, giving polite smiles and nods to people.
She should be. I was going to say she should not be in customer service.
She doesn't seem like she really works here. I think we need the others.
Yeah, she's one to watch. She's not used to waiting or being nice. There's probably something more physical about that. Anyway, what I wanted to say. She
looks as awkward as we do. Okay, let's go find the others. What do you need to talk about? Is this the place?
Yeah, it's sorry, it's not that. When we're done, we need to talk about the mine, and we need to talk about the. Oh God, fucking hell! What's her name?
Are you talking about Ola?
No, Hobra. So, Hobra Winterscribe. I think you two need to have a conversation, but probably best not here, and probably not best with Hobra in the background.
Yeah, I was.
Do we need to?
It was. Did you see that wood elf? Is she still there, Simon?
Yep, she's still there.
I don't know. I had a stupid thought. She was giving evil eyes to the group, and I just. I don't know, wishful thinking maybe. Anyway, let's go get Aiden.
Okay.
And kind of start to head off towards the bar.
Okay. And I'll follow. Yeah.
So do I get any time to talk to Aiden before everybody else arrives?
I imagine so. Considering that.
Yes, you have a short period of time.
Yeah. So yeah, Eclipse, I assume, like, she walks into the bar, finds Aiden sitting there drinking, because...
It's Aiden.
It's Aiden.
I look at her. I look at her arrive, and I say, "Fuck! I can't. Oh my god! I forgot about your outfit."
I'm pretty sure you'd hear her before you saw her.
Yeah, like I hear her coming, and I go, "Oh god, I forgot."
It really is terrible. How do you do, friend?
It's fucking atrocious. I guess I'm doing fine. Maybe, I don't know.
What happened?
Well, I learned some gossip, something about a black dragon. And I don't know. I say something about the gossip you told me, which I already forgot. My memory's terrible.
That's okay. It's background gossip for the most part, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tomorrow at sunrise, I have to duel some dude to the death, I guess, for the honor of I barely know. And I take a swig.
What was that last part again?
I have to duel someone probably to the death at sunrise because I was on behalf of some person I barely know. I don't think I remember their name even.
Why?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Eclipse turns to the barman and goes, "Do you know why my friend Aiden needs to duel this person?"
Because he's a man of honor, young lady.
I'm a man of fucking nothing.
There's
Apparently you're a man of honor. Yes, go on.
the wretch that came here was noble, and he's a minor noble at best, something like 200 in line of the throne or something like that. And he was harassing Morag Mogwart, a local alchemist. Apparently, I think that was correct, wasn't it? Yes. No, it wasn't the noble, was it? It was Tarok Groschal, that was harassing her. So yeah, you'll be meeting him, won't you? Yeah, nasty fella, that one. Generally just goes around intimidating people on behalf of his patron. A bit of a lapdog. Well, not a lapdog, attack dog, I guess you'd call it. But either way, he did the right thing, and now he's going to give the guy a good seeing to tomorrow morning. So, yeah.
I want you to make sure that I don't disapprove of this, but maybe you could have, instead of having a duel with rules and stuff, you could have just stabbed him.
First of all, I don't know why I didn't stab him in the first place. That's a very good question. I ask myself that constantly. Two.
Well, it turns out put a downer on the dance for one thing. The blood flowing everywhere and everything. It's so last century.
I was thinking about Glory, and how this was a huge deal for her, and Fair will dragging me because we need to help her friends. When a corpse is probably gonna put a damper on that, especially if I'm associated to Glory. So yeah, I decided not to do that. Secondly,
I really commendate your strength of will there, because I would have probably stabbed him.
Second thing, bold of you to assume I'm gonna play by the rules.
Yes, that's very true. Anyway, we have got. I don't know this. Don't worry. I'm just talking to you. But yes, that's. do you think you will need any help, like help from us? Do you want us to come up and stab him like before the duel starts, or?
Not really. I think I can probably. I think I can probably handle it. I don't know. I don't want what's their name to suffer because I decided to try something before the duel. So I guess I'm just gonna go through with it. But yeah.
So, is the gnome still there, by the way, or has she left?
She's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Aiden, you think that you're probably be able to take this guy just based on physicality? It's it's not going to be an easy duel, but you're fairly confident. I mean, you're not scared for your life.
I know. I'm not. Anyway. Yeah. I feel like it'll be fine. If it's not, then fuck me, I guess. Anyways, why are you here?
I'm going to say I'm very impressed for standing up for this lady, though. That's very kind of you.
At that point, you get a member of your party walk up and say, "We're gonna meet someone."
So who's saying this?
I can't remember who was
Yeah.
walking up to you.
This is me and Farewell are coming in.
Okay, go for it.
Um,
Go and explain to them what is to befall them.
So what was the last thing you just said? What would we have heard?
That very kind of him to standing up for this lady.
Aiden's done something interesting. I thought you were just drinking. What have you been up to?
Apparently he's got a duel tomorrow, so
He's
that's
got
very.
a what?
Oh, that makes sense.
Can I?
God.
We
Can
should
I?
not
Can
have
I?
left him alone.
Can I have a
We were worrying about Eclipse and maybe even Glory, and we just figured you can leave him by the bar.
Well,
Hey.
anyway, we might have
Well-
more fighting, so we need to go upstairs or where.
Why?
What were you gonna
is-
say, Aiden?
I was motioning to the bartender. Can I have a refill? Like when Firewall was
One-
like.
One to go. To go. We have to go.
Yes,
Uh,
have a refill to go.
He passes you a quite large glass. He says, "I would say for the road, but anyway, just
Are these
Just-
free?
absolutely, yeah, it's all
Good.
laid on us.
Good.
One double shot.
Okay, no problem.
Are you?
I think we might be about to need it.
Here we go.
Me too.
Oh, two double shots. There we go. He passes you two shot glasses, and he goes, "You'll like this one. This is from Garandal. It's an amber liquor. They actually distill it from amber, and it indeed has a lovely golden look to it." He goes, "Get that down your neck."
Bang! I'll just knock them both back.
Sure. Okay.
I knock the drink that he gave me. It's like, okay, fuck it. Where are we going?
Glory might be in trouble, or we might all be in trouble. I don't
really?
know. There's someone pretending to
Why
be
am
a
I not
servant
surprised?
upstairs. Yeah, well, exactly. How could the night
all
get
right.
worse?
Well, let's go. Not much else we
Alright.
can do unless we wanna run, I guess.
Yeah,
But that sounds really boring.
Wait a minute.
What?
Where's Glory?
She's still upstairs, isn't she? We need to go back.
Glory is basically going towards the double doors, where this woman is just leaning against the frame of the door.
Well, I assume you're waiting for us, Glory.
Yeah, I was gonna try and flirt with the lady until you guys arrived.
I'll give you a bit of time on that. So you walk up to her, and you have a feeling that the way that she's standing there, she is kind of leaning against the door as if she's like any other servant. But the way that she looks at you, she may as well be chewing gum very loudly. There's attitude that's just coming straight out of her eyes at you, and she goes, "Are the others going to be long?"
Not terribly so. It depends on how fast they find out the two. Besides, it gives us a little time alone.
Oh, I suppose you want me to apologize. And at that point, she looks around to see that nobody's looking, and she turns into the girl that brushed you off. When she does so, it's not an illusion that she drops. Her skin ripples, and she immediately turns into that person.
Now
Same
that
clothes.
is an interesting one.
Yep, same
She's
clothes.
changed.
Her curves change, yeah, so that she's a little bit taller. You can see that the the jacket looks a little too short for her now, and she looks around for again. Bear in mind, this has been like 6 seconds that she's done this, just a round of combat. She looks around again and just kind of shivers, and as she shivers, she goes back to being the blonde servant.
Why isn't that fascinating?
It is.
Got any other tricks up your sleeve?
I can be to
I
order.
like that Glory is still flirting. She's still going.
Would
Non-stop
being a
infinite flirting.
changeling stop Glory? No.
So, you're the type of person who accepts an invite from somebody who humiliates you. And as she does that, she bites her lip. And a tiny, tiny amount of blue blood is seen before she sucks it into her mouth to make sure nobody can see it.
It's an opportunity. And besides, I got to meet you again.
Do me a charisma check.
Roll me good die.
Come on, first roll of the night. Come on, we believe in you.
It's a comma. Okay, and there it is. Just straight charisma or anything special?
No, it's just a straight charisma roll. I'll take it into
Okay.
account.
21.
21. Okay.
Fuck.
She looks at you with an intensity, and you have a feeling that there's like a kind of anger bubbling up inside her. And then as she does so, something seems to break, and she just laughs. You're not entirely sure if the laugh is mocking or flirtatious, but she does laugh.
That's a step in the right direction.
She goes, "They were right about you. You're incessant."
Well, I could show you just how insistent I am.
Your business, an asset, or a liability. Ah, here they are. And at that point, the rest of the party
I brought a drink with
comes
me.
towards you. Yep.
My clothes growl again, and I just kind of look at it and like sigh and keep walking.
How much of that conversation did I catch, by the way?
Absolutely none of it. This is a wall of noise that you were penetrating as you were.
I can read lips.
Okay. Touche. Give me a perception check.
Were they facing us or away?
She was.
I'm pretty sure my character can guess 9 times out of 10 what Glory may have said. It's more along the lines of gauging what was said in response.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not so good. Let's have a look.
Hubris.
That's a 17.
I'll give it to you. You heard the last line. Asset or liability.
Oh. I think we're assets.
You really think so?
She turns around, and with this, with all the airs and graces, she says, "Thank you very much for acceding to my master's request. Please follow me." She touches a part of the double doors. She doesn't touch the handle or anything like that, and the double doors open up. Inside are 2 guards. She gives them a nod. These 2 guards aren't dressed up as the rest of the guards you saw up front guarding this place. These guys are kind of the internal security. They're not meant to be seen. And she nods to them and ushers you through. The doors close behind you, and you're in a candlelit corridor with many doors going off to the side. You go past 2 doors, 2 doors, 2 doors. You get to the 4th set of doors, and from the right-hand door, you can hear the sound of flesh on flesh. Smack, smack, smack. And as you're hearing it, you're hearing, oh, oh, oh.
I don't like
Is it
this.
the good or the bad
I was thinking
Sounded pretty bad.
That's exactly what went through my head. I'm so glad you said that. I feel so bad now.
You guys are awful.
Do you see what I have to work with? Okay.
I think that's a perfectly reasonable, and I'm prepared to make an insight check should I need to.
Go right ahead.
16.
16. These are not happy grunts.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh god.
Simon, Cora is telepathically telling Eowyn, even as she walked through those doors and saw the 2 guards, she's saying, I don't like this. Keep your eyes open, please. Basically.
You didn't need to tell me, Cora.
Eowyn's flitting around and
Yeah.
but invisible.
You go past another 2 pairs of doors, and then there's no door on the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side, there's a pair of double doors. And again, these 2, not disheveled, but not pribbed up guards are there. Once again, a nod from her. At this point, those of you who are in the front, I'm just going to pick 2 people at random rather than doing rolls. I will say it is Glory. And let's say Eager Beaver Farewell at the front.
Okay.
And you notice that as she nods, her eyes flash to those silver orbs. So now Farewell has seen it as well. Okay. And the doors open, and inside
my book.
is a study. It's different to Renata's. Renata's is a little bit kind of, it has little cloisters where you can study. This is a perfect rectangle. It has a fire, and the fire is roaring. It's a giant fire as well. This room is very large. You could put chairs in here to seat easily 30, 40 people and have someone stood at the front with a lectern giving like a talk. Books line the walls up to about 20 foot high. Very, very high bookshelves with those sliding ladders that you see in old libraries. And at the end of the room is a large marble table. With
someone's trying to impress us.
Mm-hmm. And
Is this impressive?
Someone is sat there, but they seem to be wreathed in shadow. The thing that catches you the most about this room is the dragon's head above the fire.
Excuse me, what?
Yep, there's a
what kind of dragon head? What do we know?
The dragon head is it seems to be somewhat preserved. Give me an investigation check. Or a nature check.
Since it's a dragon?
Who?
Come on.
Us?
Advantage for Glory.
Thank you.
Are we all making this check, or just Glory?
Investigation or insight?
Investigation or nature, and anybody can roll. Glory gets advantage.
Well, I rolled a natural 1, so I don't know shit.
19.
What is a dragon?
What is a dragon?
Yeah.
19, Simon. 19.
Okay. So
I got 19.
Okay. So Farewell.
Simon.
Yes,
Simon.
Oh wait, no.
I
Roll
rolled a
nothing.
20 total on
Okay.
investigation.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I also got a dirty 20 for investigation.
Right. So Farewell. you get taken in by the strange, dull lighting of the candelabra and the fact that this has been preserved in a particular way, and you think that this is a black dragon. Just looking at it, you're going, yep, and you're mostly focusing on the person at the end of the room. That person interests you more because the dragon's head is quite clearly dead. So you're just focusing on that. That's your one, is that you're distracted by this Machiavellian character at the end of this long room. Glory, Aiden, and Eclipse, you see straight away that this was a brass dragon. It's just the way that the way that the head has been preserved means that the scales have oxidized slightly, giving it this dark kind of coating to it. But it's definitely a brass dragon. For Glory, the thing that gives it away for you is the ears. They are slightly not the ears, sorry, the crest. It's slightly fey-like. It's got little kind of flick-ups at the end, if you've ever seen a fairy dragon. You have a feeling, Glory, that this probably was a young adult, maybe. It was definitely an adult dragon, as in by that time it would have been speaking common. Probably around its age, it would have been able to take on a humanoid form. If it was trained in the same way as Skara. But yeah, that's definitely a brass dragon. You walk behind this servant, this woman, along the very long room. This room is about 60 foot long and about 40 foot wide. And as he's sitting at this gigantic desk is a figure that is hunched in shadow. And some of you, without even rolling, figure that this must be a magical effect. You get about 15 foot away from the desk, and the figure looks towards you, stands up, and the shadow effect disappears. And standing there with white hair, a white stubble, and wearing very imperial clothes, blues and reds, certain medals and honorifics that are placed around the place. On his right pauldron, he has a mark, and at this point, I will get people to roll either history or a straight charisma check, whichever you choose.
Charisma, hello.
To determine what this is on his right shoulder.
I'll go for charisma because the right history. 15.
Okay, you don't know.
12.
You don't know.
7.
You don't know.
I do not know.
Okay, so
Aiden?
Yeah, come on, Ivan, save the party.
Save the party!
18.
18. You don't know.
Ha!
Oh.
So he stands up, looking very imperial and very austere, and he says, "Thank you, Delta." And at the moment where he says her name, the woman in front of you, her clothes just melt away, retracting into her body, and wearing what seems to be a form of black figure-hugging catsuit with skin that is a mixture of dove grey and blue, like a light powder blue, with white fingernails, bright white hair, and white to silver orbs for eyes, pale white lips, is
Hot lady.
a unearthly looking female figure. She looks, I guess, a little bit alien in terms of, for any of you who've played like XCOM or anything like that, a kind of half grey, half human person. This is a shapeshifter. a doppelganger. She walks behind the desk, gesturing first to you guys to sit in the chairs that have just been provided for you. And she walks up and she leans on the back of this guy's chair. He's stood on the front of it, but she's kind of taken up what I guess is a right-hand man position. And she's now leaning, she's tipping the hip. There's an attitude here. There's almost a brattish attitude to her. And she's looking at you all in turn with this wry smile that you can't tell whether it's malicious or playful.
When she looks at Glory, Glory will wink at her.
Okay. Noted.
Eclipse is concerned about the brass dragon head. Why is there a good dragon head on there?
Yeah, same.
I don't really care since it's not a black dragon, but still it's pretty rude of them to kill a dragon. Could Glory tell if it was a male or female dragon, by the way?
Dragons don't really have a gender.
That's true.
Dragons only have the gender that they choose. So I've sent you, for example, the details of the convocation of Skara. The elders there do everything from looking like humanoid persons of non-gender to anywhere on the gender fluid spectrum to identifying fully as male or female. So
right.
Do they choose if they? I was thinking with egg laying and like reproduction, do they kind of just choose like clownfish, like, oh, I want to be this gender, so, and all their stuff just changes so they can have dragon babies?
When a dragon lays eggs, it's because they've amassed a certain amount of power. Dragons do not breed in conventional terms. So they, at a certain point, they gain enough power to be able to reproduce. Okay, so getting on with that, he says, welcome to my party. I will not give a name, but I will be asking a lot of questions. For now, you can call me the director or director. I am part of the consortium. We are an extensive network of hard-working financiers and business leaders throughout Illyria. And we make sure that wealth doesn't go too far in any one direction, so that any one nation, the old empire included, gets beyond its bounds and starts to threaten life on Earth. Not only that, we keep a stable economy here in Illyria so that the people can carry on with their everyday lives. You have interested us. We were watching Miss Glory as she was cavorting. He shows a lot of disapproval when he says this. Around the merchant district, we calmed certain people who were antagonized by her behavior, and we expected that, as we do of every young upstart that joins our petty game. But now you have connected with each other and with Miss Green. Tell me.
Sorry, go on.
What are your intentions by joining her organization?
At this stage, I'm going to look at Cora and kind of just give her that look. And I'll put my hand to my chest, and I'd like to cast Zone of Truth.
Okay.
Where?
Well, it's a 60-foot radius, so it will be 60 foot from my current position, and it's a 60-foot sphere, 15 feet high. It's a Charisma 15 save.
Okay, I guess I had better do my first roll of the night.
So do we, right?
We need to save as well. We all have to do
Everybody,
that too. I've been rolling
everybody has,
badly.
everybody has to save. Yeah, bearing in mind I have a -2 charisma.
Wait, am I
do not
rolling a
say-
save too?
Yes, you
Yeah,
must roll a
everyone.
charisma save.
Everybody.
Everybody must roll a charisma save.
And it's
Charisma
DC.
save. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, DC 15. You said.
Yeah, DC 15.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
not say.
16 beats that.
Yeah, I rolled a natural
Really?
18 with the -2,
me
so I
too.
rolled a 16, so I saved.
Okay.
But
Okay.
remember, you can choose to fail. Holy shit! Item fails.
Cool. Let's ask him loads of questions.
Yes.
This is maybe not the right time for that.
no,
What?
it really isn't.
Would I know
He
if
doesn't have
he
to speak,
saved
though.
or not?
Yes.
That's the
Yes, you
question.
know.
No. Unless it
No,
says
you just have. You do know if people fail or save. I think that's something Tim was saying about this spell. That I remember, but I might be wrong.
Right, let me just check something. I'm willing to go with.
No, the spell says on a failed save, a creature can't speak a deliberate lie whilst in the radius. You know whether or not each creature succeeds or fails on its saving throw.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the actual spell. So yeah, so I know that Glory, Eclipse, and Cora and myself have saved. I know
I didn't
Aiden
save.
has failed. And then I turn and look, and I'm going to assume one changeling definitely, and the other person, if they have failed or saved.
Okay, Delta has failed. The director has saved.
By the way, I didn't save. I failed. So Eclipse can't lie.
Yeah.
Oh, you failed?
Yeah. I rolled a 5.
Hopes. Well, you
Is-
don't have to speak, right? The whole point is only when you
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah, you are.
Physically
If you,
tell a lie.
yeah, you are incapable of lying. So whatever you say must be the truth, or you say nothing.
Okay, so everybody who has failed, please remember these rules when the conversation goes on. Okay.
All right.
The director smiles and says, "So, what is your stake with your business with Renata Green?"
Glory, of course.
Information.
After all, if you did your background check, you would know that much.
I want to hear it from you.
Information.
Very well. What kind of information? I might be able to provide better than Ms. Green. I might be able to provide it faster. On a quid pro quo, you understand?
Simon, do we
Of
know who
course,
this guy
but
is again?
Could you truly deliver the same kind of excitement as we have under Mr. Green right now?
First of all, Simon's going to answer Kate, and then I'll give
Sorry.
you the answer. So, Kate, you only know what Glory has told you, and to my recollection, she hasn't told you about the invitation to come here from the consortium. So, you're kind of okay. Let's settle it. Glory,
I told you I got invited to a party, and I want you guys to come with me.
It was
Okay.
just a party we knew about. We
Yeah,
didn't know
so
anything
you
about.
guys are on catch up.
About the consortium.
So you guys are on catch up. Okay.
Do we know anything about the consortium, by the way? Background knowledge.
I would like, if anybody who would like to know about the consortium, roll a history check now. And then I will answer you, Felicia.
Yeah.
Has he? Did he just mention the consortium?
He said that he was a representative of the consortium and who the consortium were. He said that we're a bunch of financiers and business leaders who try to keep the economy in check.
Is this like a history check then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Only a
I
history
rolled
check
a-
will do.
I rolled
16.
14.
No and no.
24.
24. You've heard of the consortium, mostly conspiracy theories about an underground society of powerful rich people who basically run the world. They are effectively the Illuminati. The Illuminati, the stonemasons, call them what you will. They are the power behind every throne. They have agents everywhere. They control money.
So, you are not the whispers of some crazy people who've had too much bathtub gin.
No. Right. I need to back up. Felicia, what was the question that you asked?
I said, what did I ask?
You said that you asked if the consortium could offer the same excitement that the Green Organization.
Rodrigo?
All right, that was basically it.
No problem.
He turns around to you and says, we don't really deal with excitement. We deal with talent and reward. Every transaction will be met on a neutral basis. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about transactions and whether or not you would like to invest in a dialogue with us.
No.
Of course. What is this deal you talk about? After all, it can mean a lot of things.
For us to correctly execute our duties, we need to know what's going on. We need to know specifics. All we ask for is that you report any news, any dealings, any rumors, any, let's call them scandals, to us so that we can react in a timely manner. We will not ask you to kill anyone. We will not send you on missions. We will not do anything of the kind. We may occasionally let you know of contracts, opportunities. But mostly, we just want information. You start giving us information, you build credit with us. Credit that means that you will be able to get information in return. If you want something from us, something a little more substantial, whether it be wealth, although I should imagine that Miss Green is going to lavish her wealth on you as she has done with so many other people. She does have a little too much, a bit out of balance, her. But we tolerate it because she plays well with us. Oh yes, did I forget to mention? Renata Green is in constant dialogue with us. In fact, we did point out that we may approach you ourselves. We haven't confirmed to her that we have done so, though. So, I'm not asking you to betray her. I'm asking you to simply deal with us. Start the conversation.
And if or when we choose, what if we decide to withhold information?
Then you don't get any rewards of the transaction. It's how daring you are and how you're willing and able to invest, how you know the value of each piece of information that you give us.
Are we allowed to let Miss Green know that you've been in contact with us?
We would prefer if you kept it down to a simple declaration that you trade information so that she can request that you hold certain things from us. Whether or not you do is completely up to you. That information, of course, is probably worth the most. But yes, you may if you wish. We will ask simple questions from time to time. We will give you means by which to answer those questions. And if you wish, you can have instant reward, or you can ask for something different. How about I give you a demonstration?
Or how about you just be honest? You know what I cast, and I know that you're not affected by it. So everything you could be telling us right now could be a lie. You could be dancing us on a string. You could be handing us out to dry, and as Glory quite rightly pointed out, we've got a pretty good deal already that doesn't require us to get in the middle of a fight, a war that we're not interested in.
Miss Renata knows a lot about her world. She is immersed in it, consumed by it. She is the very center of the engine that she created. And without her, the whole thing falls apart. She spends so much time throwing so many balls in the air. The only information she gets is from people like you. Without that information, she would be choked. If I'm to be honest, and I don't need your spell to be honest, the Raven Queen and I are on decent terms.
Decent.
I don't need to lie. My transactions are simple. Yes, there are times when I may give you less than you deserve. Yes, there are times when I will be using the information that you give to my ends to achieve my goals. I don't need to explain myself to you, and so I shan't. I don't need to lie to you because I already occupy a position of power. You
I don't
are
care.
seeking. It's quite clear, Master Aiden.
By the way, I cut him
don't
to say, I cut him to say, I'm not interested in this deal. I don't want it.
Thankfully, there are more people in this room, and also better players in this room. And he looks straight at Glory and says, better players in this room than you. I hope you're enjoying the wine I laid on. He throws a scroll on the table, and it unrolls right in front of Glory. And he says, if you won't believe me, Delta, did you end up being affected by this spell? She goes, I did. Forgive me, Master. And he goes, everybody slips up. Tell Mr. Barebones, have I lied to him? Not to my knowledge. There. I find lying is a flaw. Lying can be found. You don't know my agendas, I don't know yours. I would like to know them, because I believe that whatever your agendas are, they're not going to be of any consequence to me anyway. And I like to know
So
how I can reward you.
Then
But
why do you need to know them?
You're very boring. You don't have much flair. You're just kind of talking at us.
I don't have much flair. I have a dragon above my fireplace, and you've been enjoying the soiree that costs thousands of dragons.
But that doesn't mean that
Yes,
you're any less of a prick.
Glory.
I'm not talking about your decor or your thing, but you as a person, you're very dry.
Have you met a banker before? Glory.
I personally take offence to that. Completely out of character.
Sorry, Nick. he turns to Glory and say, I hope you have the understanding, class, and hunger. A demonstration. He snaps his fingers, and the scroll in front of you, Glory, has a question. Okay? So the question in front of you, Glory, is, when you visited Renata Green in her study, was there an old man with white hair sitting by the fire? And it says underneath, just as a kind of footnote, almost as if it's in double entry, reward, 1,000 gold pieces.
Interesting.
Can I read that?
Everybody can read it. And he hands you a pen and says, all you have to do is write yes or no, or with the pen, scratch through the question, and the question will disappear. He deliberately hands it only to Glory, seeing that he sees some of the rest of you are defying him. He hands it to Glory and says, there you go, 1,000 gold pieces just to know whether an old man was sitting next to a fire.
By the way, what the our badges stuff, were they just mental messages, as in we speak on our heads, or do we need to speak out loud to say something in them?
They are mental messages.
Mental messages. I will tap my badge, call Glory, and say, don't do it.
Okay. He
He's
says,
no fun.
he notices that you touch your badge, and he says, if you don't mind, can we keep it all verbal communication? If you need to go and have a meeting over this simple question, I think the answer is already evident. Let's make things interesting.
Oh,
He snaps his fingers and it turns to 2,000.
Make it 25 and I'll give you your answer.
Please lie.
He deliberately ignores farewell, just to show that Simon's not ignoring you. The character is ignoring you.
No, I know,
Yes,
I know,
yes.
I know.
Can I roll to like remember if I've seen scrolls like this before and would know if it has some form of truth spell on it or anything in that regards?
You know that this, if you cast Identify on it, you'd be able to tell whether or not it had effectively a minor zone of truth on it. Unfortunately, at the moment, the only thing that you can get is that the way that the ink appeared, this looks a lot like a sending scroll. A sending scroll is a lot like the spell sending, except it is the written format of it. And it's normally for people who might be out of reach for whatever reason, or fighting. So instead of having to contact them in the middle of battle, their orders will just appear on a scroll on their person. That part of it you understand, but you don't know if it's got what will be the equivalent of a truth filter.
I'm just going to say to him, well, sometimes the most innocuous questions are the things that he's most interested in, and especially with he just adding a bunch of gold to this. Really, what he says is a simple question, tells us something.
Yes, but Eclipse, you have to remember that 2,000 gold is nothing to a man of this stature.
Very true, but he knows that a lot of us don't come from a lot of money, so this looks like a lot of gold for us. But yes, he's completely playing us and trying to bait us.
Of course he is. I will lean forward and write yes on the paper.
Okay.
No!
As you lean forward and you write,
Shit.
and you write yes, I would like you to do a DC 16 Charisma saving throw.
Do you remember that the thingy-magog that I have on my dress? The thingy-magog that's supposed to help me with...
Yeah. Yeah,
okay. Is it... am I just rolling one D20 or...
The dress gives you advantage, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
I'm
That's what
pretty
you got
sure it
enchanted
does.
with.
That's
Yeah,
why I
that's what you
asked.
asked for.
Charisma saving throw?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. That's a solid 20.
Okay. So, if you remember, there was an old man with white hair, white beard, sitting next to the fire in Renata's study. As you write down the truth that yes, he was there, you feel no resistance. You feel absolutely fine. There's nothing adverse that you can feel, and the second that you finish the last letter, the ink disappears, the scroll is blank, and 200 platinum coins appear on the parchment. He goes, take your reward.
I'll just pull it all down into the bag of holding.
Sure.
We'll split it later.
He rolls up the scroll, hands it to you. Glory. Okay, so you now have a consortium missive. Okay.
Oh boy.
Burn it. Burn it.
And he says, thank you for doing business with us today, Ms. Glory. You have more ambition and intelligence than I gave you credit for. I do apologize. You really are someone of note. Thank you very much.
Eclipse is texting under the table to Renata. Fuck.
Yeah. God, what I will give for a
Shit,
text
shit,
messaging
shit, shit.
service.
One final
It's
question.
like,
Go on,
One
Simon.
final question, if I may.
no.
Oh.
This is not a question that I'm giving a reward for. I'm merely making conversation. But why did the king appear in my soiree? Did you invite him? I'm
No.
asking as your host now.
No. But you're not the only one who's noticed us.
Did
Oh,
you see the King of Thieves, Glory?
I'm sure that he has more than enough ways to come in on his own. It's just a surprise to see him tonight of all nights. Very well.
Who's the king?
The King of Thieves, the guy that runs Liberty Quarter.
He was here?
Apparently?
Oh yes, quite a good dancer, in fact.
Oh.
I've heard of him. I've heard of him. I have very slight relation to the Thieves Guild. They kind of overlap a little bit with the bounty hunters. But yeah, very interesting that the King of Thieves would go and talk to you, Glory.
I think he has spoken to her for the same reason that I have spoken to her. If there's one thing that the king and I both appreciate, it's a free agent. Please, enjoy the rest of the night. I'm afraid I have, as you say, boring prick work to do.
I just leave. I don't care about the pleasantries. I just fucking leave. I'm disgusted with
No,
that.
you said it.
He sits down and
I give a really sarcastic bow and then walk out.
he's already looking down into his ledger.
I will give a wave to the lady while we go out.
You
be
get a very, very lascivious wink from her. Where previously she was very cold, she now winks at you conspiratorially. And slightly flirtatiously.
Can I see this? Because I'm watching.
Oh, absolutely. She's not hiding a thing.
Nope.
Okay. And
As soon as we
you guys leave
But
the room?
it's gonna, oh shit!
Oh,
We lost
no.
the viewer. Oh no!
Ladies
Ladies and gentlemen, as if on cue, because we've not had any this week, we have had our very first technical fault. Big round of
Which is
applause.
probably a
We were
really
late.
good place to have a break.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna
This is
say.
maybe
Good
a
place
good
to have
break
a break.
time.
Yeah.
For some reason, Aiden or Rodrigo, you were an image anyway.
Yeah.
I just noticed.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, we are frozen. So
Why
I
don't
will.
we use this as our break time while we figure it out?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's a very good idea. I can fix it quite quickly, but it is break time now because it's nearly 9:30. We are not going to be long. Just a quick bio break for everybody, and then we'll get back into the soiree and into the other things that are available.
I can't believe you've done this. My God, Simon, you've created such. Oh, my poor boy again.
Eclipse is gonna be like really cross with Glory, going like, "Well, Glory, you know not to give information to unknown parties."
So it says Eclipse.
Everybody who's watching, we will see you soon. Probably about 5-10 minutes.
Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. So after a very tense discussion between mostly Glory and the director, with some of the other guys despairing at her life choices, we find our party being led back outside. Just a quick footnote, the person who was making noises of not being happy in between noises of flesh slapping on flesh, you notice that noise is gone, and you walk back out into the soiree. And surrounded by these laughing, cavorting, conspiring people, you start to wonder how many people in the soiree are just here for a good time, and how many people are here because they know who the patron of this event is. And the scene takes on a completely different view to some of you. The scene is as we left it. This quick conversation hasn't changed that much. Everybody who was there before is there still, apart from the alchemist, who I said beforehand, Morag has already left. So I'm going to ask you all, what do you want to do?
After we get back to the soiree, I go, okay, I had enough of high society for a lifetime, so I'm just gonna fucking leave. I'm just gonna be back at the tavern if you guys are gonna want to look for me. I mean, do have to wake up early for a duel, so.
Hold on. Before you go anywhere, who's his second? Who's your second? Where's the
I have
duel?
no idea.
I'm up
Where was
for
the
it.
duel, Simon? I don't want you anywhere near me, Glory.
Right, okay, you can't. Look, you're tough, and you're surly as
If
shit.
you want to,
But we're gonna be
you want
there
to,
whether you fucking like it or not. So, where's the duel?
that's fine. That's fine.
I was a bit worried about you.
Thank you. But anyways,
I'm-
I need to get as far away as here as possible. I feel like I'm about to puke, and it's not the alcohol. See you guys later.
I kind of want to get out of this outfit, and I'm pretty done here for the moment. Oh wait, I did have that historian, but nah, I can take that another time. I think I'm gonna go, so I'm pretty tired. What time is it? And also, I want to go before my spell like goes off. My chances. I want to leave.
Sure. By your reckoning, you think you've probably got another quarter of an hour before he has a moment. So yeah. It's about
So I'm thinking it's time to leave now for me to not be there when he goes.
It's about 9 p.m.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, Glory, if you do act as his second. You'll probably.
I don't want her fucking near me.
It's
I can
not the
take
first
you as a
time I
second.
dueled. Though I'm more used to the gladiators arena.
I can take you as a second farewell if you want, but
fine.
I'm out. This is the end for me. I fucking leave.
I go with you because I'm
Eclipse, have you got him?
Yes.
Thank you.
I go and leave with Aiden because he seems to not mind me as much.
Absolutely fine.
And also, I don't want to be there when that guy.
Okay, I'm going to punctuate this with a quick thing. Glory, a woman that you've never met before, she's in her early 40s, walks up to you and says, "Glory, darling, it's so wonderful to see you." She says this in full, she says it very loudly so everybody can hear. She walks straight up and she goes to embrace you and kiss you on the cheeks. Do you let her?
Of course.
Okay. She goes up, kisses you on both cheeks and says, "Darling, it is always so amazing to see you at these events." And as she kisses your left cheek, she says, "Welcome." And she goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Glory Tezcatlipoca, and there's a more polite applause around you from people who have obviously noticed who this woman is. And she says, please, later on, if you wish, we're going to be having some games in one of the side rooms there at low stakes. We don't want to make this about money today. Yeah, please, by all means, there'll be tea and some little special treats that I brought myself. My room, and she points to one of the curtained rooms, is over there. She then walks off to a bunch of other ladies, and they all walk off in a clique off to this curtained chamber. And she leaves you with everybody kind of looking at you with kind of approval and kind of other people kind of talking to each other saying, who is she? Who is she? Who is this person? Okay, so you've just been signal boosted.
Oh, yeah.
Medieval fashion. So just a quick thing. What else? What else are you guys doing?
Cora?
Uh,
Muted.
yeah, I think Glory doesn't really need us
No.
anymore tonight.
Are you
I
alright?
just want to do. I don't know. Come with me. I'm gonna wander back towards where I can see if Ola and the elf and everything are still there.
Ola is still. They're not listening to the tiefling that was giving these anecdotes anymore. They are currently singing. They're singing kind of songs of adventure, very much kind of past battles and things like that. There's a little bit of a sway going on. They're swaying with their drinks. Every now and again, they get to a certain line in a song. They raise their drinks high. Ola is enjoying herself in the clique that she's got. The wood elf is around about 25 foot away. She's leaning against the wall, looking very demure. You think the only thing she's missing is a fainting couch. And you do notice as a Ladrin gentleman walks up to her, he's got this smile on his face as if he's trying to flirt or something like that. She just waves her fingers, just a brief flex of her fingers, and he immediately shuts his mouth, looks straight forward, and walks away. She doesn't say a word to him.
Is she still staring down at the group?
If you hadn't been watching, you would think she's scanning the room, but you passed your previous perception check, so I'm not going to get you to check again. She's using the same tactic as before. She's looking like she's scanning the room, just like everybody else is taking in the fashion and stuff, but her eyes are locked on Ola.
Do you see the elf over there? Against the wall? Farewell?
He's lost sound.
Oh, has he? It's not me
Yeah,
then.
he wrote it in the Twitch chat.
Oh, shit.
He's switching off and switching back on.
Oof.
By the looks.
Dope.
Oof.
Hello, Nick. Are you back?
No, he's figuring it out.
He's kind of staring at us.
Well, since we have a little bit of time, I'm just gonna share this with the chat.
Glory.
When I created Glory, her personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws were all terrible lesbian.
Right, there we go.
And that
Fixed
is the
it.
basis of her.
Sorry, everybody. I, for some reason, completely lost all audio. So I've lost the last couple of minutes of whatever said. So if anybody asks me a question, I didn't hear shit.
We'll catch you up in a sec, mate.
We noticed.
Yeah.
That's why I started explaining Glory to the chat.
Go for it. Carry on, Felicity.
You carry on talking about Glory.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but like terrible lesbian.
But yeah, I think that was
Disaster lesbian. Like it
I
is.
think-
It is as it is.
I was gonna say, I think that was the extent of the explanation of.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
okay,
Right.
sure, yeah.
And
Okay,
That is the
Nick.
extent.
Yes.
So, I had led you back towards the ballroom and to where we could see Ola and the group, and the wood. There's a wood elf standing against a wall, nonchalantly looking around. But I have seen that they've been giving evils to Ola, but you might not have noticed this. Anyway, and I just ask you, do you see that elf, wood elf?
Yeah. Does she look familiar to me?
she doesn't look familiar, but I'll give you a quick description. She's got chestnut hair. She's got olive skin, green eyes, and she's got a dress that has a natural motif. So winding vines and things like that. For her, it is just a pattern. She's not actually wearing nature like you are. But it's very much I'd say it's an elegant but stereotypical wood elf style. A certain amount of Celtic weave kind of motif to her clothes.
What about her?
Well, I'm not the only one watching Ola, shall we say.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I just. Is it stupid to think that maybe what happened to me happened to Enola as well?
What happened to you?
I don't know. I mean, we never buried her. Maybe. And you look different than you were. I mean, possibly, but I mean, has you know, the voice, the dreams told you anything? I know it's been some time since you had anything to do with, what was it you called it, a patron? Um, maybe. She doesn't look familiar. I could go find out. I mean, I don't have my book, but
No, wait, it's okay.
I mean, come on, it's a pretty good act. I mean, I go in, I'm more awkward. You come in and all suave and stuff, and we
If
can
she's
find stuff
anything
out.
like, if she's anything like me, she will not exactly tell you anything. And hold on. I'm just gonna message Awen and ask Awen if she if she can tell me anything about that elf. I'm asking her specifically if that elf is Enola.
I wouldn't be able to tell you unless I go up close. Do I have permission to go up close?
Yes. And actually, I'm going to start walking in that direction myself.
You watch as the glassy outline that only you can see because she's invisible flits across the dance floor, and you can hear as she orbits this. Well, I say orbits. She's up against the wall, a bit hard to orbit her, but you get what I mean. She looks from a bunch of angles and she says, "Okay, so this woman is Feyborn. She was born in Feywild, and yes, a wood elf has some very Fey-like magic, but no, this is not the person that you asked for. I can tell you no more, I'm afraid. She has a very powerful mind. She's angry. I can feel it from here. I wouldn't want to press on her mind, on her on her aura any more than I already am.
No, don't.
Empathy only goes so far, and I don't want to anger her.
Okay. No, I think we're done here, and I'm gonna leave quite quickly.
Cora, and I'll follow after her and try and catch her up.
Okay. So Cora, you go about 25 foot. You're small. You cut through the crowd. Farewell takes a moment to catch up with you because you kind of storm off, and he's like, "Oh, hang on," and he's going behind you. He's only about 15 foot behind you, and as you're walking through the crowd, everything slows down, and you're just looking around, thinking, "Is this some sort of power that my patrons give me? What?" And then it disappears again, and you're like, "Okay, that was weird." You carry on walking, and just off to the side, someone starts speaking, and you find yourself stopping. Even though you're striding to the exit, you find yourself stopping and listening as a woman. You think human, but she's got strange eyes, which I'll describe in a second. She has dark black skin. She is bold, and she's wearing a dress that is mostly made up of ambers, oranges, and reds. And the interesting thing about her that makes you think, is she quite human, is that she has kind of a amber eyes. Okay, and by which I mean she hasn't got amber orbs like a tiefling or the doppelganger. Her irises are this bright summer yellow. And she says to you, "Such a peculiar collection of people, don't you agree? I mean, most of the people here, though they act like best friends, they act like they're having the time of their lives. Many of them hate each other, and those of them that don't hate each other at least acknowledge that in order for them to succeed, they have to take what others have, others in this room. They have to work to the downfall of those that they sup with in order to be themselves. Can't you feel it?" And you look around as she gestures her hand. And when you look back, she's gone. And you can just hear the voice in the back of your head. Can't you smell it? Can't you taste it? The hatred, the rage. They need to have it. And that's it. That's all you get. And the mysterious lady is gone. At that point, go on.
I was gonna just kind of try and shake it off and keep going for the door.
Sure. Yeah, you shake it off, you keep going. And once you get into the open, because he's got longer legs than you, Farewell catches up just before you get to the foyer.
Hey.
I'm done here. I want to leave.
Okay.
Footnote for Farewell.
I want to mingle.
There was no girl. There was no woman in the orange dress.
Yep.
And Farewell stopped, and Cora stopped for a fraction of a second.
Ooh.
It's not her.
Can I? I'm sorry. I would have hoped it was. It would have been a lot easier. I miss her too.
Secrets.
Come on. Let's get you out of here. and I'll give her a big hug if she'll let me. And
unclicking the costume. I think I might have done that as I started to leave. Actually, I think I might have.
So you're not glowing anymore, I assume.
Nope. No.
no, I'll give her a big hug and then lead her towards the carriage. And I'm going to assume either the carriage is still there and you guys are piling all your way in, or it's gone and we'll find our own way back.
It's up to you. If Aiden's waiting in the carriage, that's fine. If he stalked away, that's fine.
Oh no, I went.
I'm walking with Aiden. Like Aiden's not alone because I left with Aiden.
Yeah, but I'm not planning on waiting for everyone. I'm sick of this place. Leave it. Like I'm ignoring the carriage. I'm just walking back to the tavern.
Yeah, it's like 5 blocks.
It's not far.
Yeah.
It's not far. And as we get to a certain point, I will politely ask Aiden to just wait for 1 second as I tear this monstrosity off me, stuff it into my bag of holding, pull out like my normal clothes and put those on.
In the middle of the street. Yep. Okay.
No, I will go somewhere like slightly private, like in like behind, like I don't know, Ben.
Okay. Sure.
I think as if we head towards if you start leading me towards the carriage farewell, I think I'm just gonna be like, let's leave that for Glory. She cares. Let's go, and just start walking.
Sure. Sure. Okay. And I'll walk with her, and we'll walk back to the tavern.
Sure.
Do you want to go to the tavern, or do you want to go back to Freetown?
I think we both need to change at least, and.
Well, we could go to the temple. I've got some spare robes in there. Hey, you could be an honorary priestess for the night.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Come on then.
Okay.
So
you guys go the longer route, walking and allowing yourselves to calm and allow yourselves to start feeling like yourselves again, albeit that you are dressed like no person in Freetown is. And you walk towards the, what would it be, western gate of Ostergard to the shanty town that you know as home. Deciding to, for tonight, eschew your other home that is within the city. You get to the gates are shut, however, people leaving is acceptable. If the guards believe that there's no danger. And you get let through the postern gate out into the city, and you walk towards the Raven Queen's Temple, which is on the outskirts of the shantytown. As you walk through Freetown, you realize how quickly things change, as everybody who's watching you is watching you with either guarded or predatory glance. Thankfully, between the two of you, you're well known enough that, there are a few people who manage to dispel any problems that go along. And you kind of see, as some people are kind of collecting, saying, who the hell are they? Why are they coming through here? Are they going to be trouble? You pick out a name here, a name there, and you just say hello to them by name, and they're like, bloody hell, it's her. And you manage to just get through it all. There is one person that stops you on the way through, and this is a guard called Mark. Now, he's not a guard of the city. He's one of Robofathrum's guards. Robofathrum being the leader of Freetown, the kind of mayor, if you will. He says, Barebones? Cora? What the hell are you dressed in, love?
You haven't seen anything. Well, I'm gonna click my fingers and show him.
When your costume erupts, he's like, "Whoa! Oh my god! Oh, that's lovely. That is. Oh, I've been outside all day." And he kind of goes up and, in what otherwise would be a slightly obscene gesture, puts his hands out to you as if you're a fire. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, that's lovely. That is." And he
That
kind of
distress
he
is
looks at his
useful for
fingers and says,
something.
"It's yeah, it feels good, that." But he's looking at his hands in a very strange way. If you remember, it's only the sensation of heat. So he feels like his hands are warm. However, his fingers that are stinging with cold because he's been out for a few hours now.
I'll put my hand on his shoulder and I'll be like, I'm sorry, babe. It's been a bit of a long night. Do you mind if we just quickly get on?
Yeah, sure.
Don't worry about it.
I'll just tell everybody you've been drinking or something. It's fine. Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah.
You go ahead. Good to see you around. And he kind of slaps you on the back, farewell, and says, anyway, see you later.
Yeah, thank you.
You do notice that after he slaps you on the back, he looks at his hand because he's just slapped moss, and he's like, it's realistic.
Yeah. That one I will not be able to explain.
Okay. You head off to the Raven Queen Temple, and you get welcomed by Dusk and the others, and they spare you robes. Kate, they give Cora just a simple set of halfling size trews and jerkin that's just made out of soft natural fibers. Just simple working clothes. You have a feeling that these are kind of like petitioner clothes or kind of rough work clothes for the priestesses. Okay.
Don't peek, and I'll put my robes on, and I'll pull one of the leaves off and put it into the gem, and so everything else should just fall away.
Dusk and the other clerics look on with a certain amount of astonishment and amusement as from underneath your robes, effectively a small forest floor of leaf mold just goes and spills out from your robes. Okay. For Aiden and Eclipse, you go back to the inn with no trouble. Noki asks if you want anything like food or anything like that. He provides whatever you need, and you can stay around in the common room, or you can go upstairs to your own rooms, whatever you choose.
I think I
was gonna say I'll just invite Aiden for like having a short dinner before we go to bed, because we haven't had like a proper food. That Aiden just drunk like, I don't know, 5 pints or something. So he probably needs some food.
There is,
and this is why every party needs an Eclipse. She's fucking aware of when you're eating and making sure that you are getting your 3 square meals a day. Eclipse for party mum.
Yeah.
better than Glory, at least for that position.
Glory's like the drunk aunt. She's the drunk aunt. We shouldn't really put her in charge, but somehow, like, this time she was. And
It was a bad idea on all parties.
Anyways, I say sure. And yeah, I just I eat some dinner with Eclipse, and then I immediately go to bed because I have to wake up early for duel.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll just chat to you about like the duel and it's like random stuff, nothing of major consequence, just what happened during the evening. I will tell you of how fucking sick my handing of the court papers was. I'll tell you about that.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's something that I think would probably appreciate, a little bit of savvy and sticking it to the man. I think that's something that Aiden would find that probably the least annoying kind of conversation. He'd be, at least mildly interested.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's cool. you do that, and you head off for an early night for tomorrow you duel. Glory,
Yes.
very briefly describe your egress, your exit
Oh, God.
from the party.
Yes. With all the flourish that is, while I still have the attention of a lot of people, I will throw up some sparkling fireworks spelling out glory in the air and leaving.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to stay for the rest of the night then.
Well,
okay.
can I do that? Because you said how I make my leave, so I thought I was supposed to do that.
Well, yeah, but I'm basically asking you what you're doing for the rest of the night, unless there's
sorry.
anything else. I mean, if you want to stay there till 3 a.m,
Well,
and
Glory kind of want to mingle, but because she still hasn't gotten any good information about the lyrium trade.
okay, that's fine.
Also,
there's no
I
rush
still
for this.
haven't left with a lady.
Okay, so let's do the residuum trade first. Okay.
Yeah.
So you start with your newfound celebrity. You start talking about your interest. After throwing the fireworks when you first came in and all the rest, it's clear that you're an arcanist, and a few people. Are willing to talk arcane. There's one person that you kind of target because he's very loudly talking about magical theory. But then there's other people who are just willing to talk to you, and I'm not going to go through every single conversation, obviously. But I'm going to give you some options, and we'll have just very quick snippets of conversation. So the one that you targeted, he's a wizard, clearly a member of high society, and he's very loudly saying, "You see, where Otterluke had the focus is that he focused on force. That's the thing, absolute will on the world, and that is what force is. You see." And he's talking, and he is dressed up as wizardly as he can. It's almost like he's making up for something. And he's loudly talking about how, Otterluke had it right, and, people like Leomund really was too limited in his vision, and was basically the janitor of arcane researchers. But he seems to be spouting off that he's got this knowledge, and you feel that you might be able to manipulate him if you use the right tactic. But there are a lot of people who are coming up to you now, and they're talking about various about their various influences in the city. You can choose for someone, and I'll give you just as I say some options. You've got the researcher, you've got some of the younger up and coming guys who are flocking to come at least say a few words to you and make sure they get their name in there. Or you've got some of the more influential people who are looking in your direction and trying to get some ideas of what they can get out of you. And finally, you have as the option, hello, the RPG Lab. Little Raid is absolutely good by us.
Hello, guys. Thank you.
And your final option is, of course, the small ladies' circle in the side room that you have been invited to. Whether or not they will have anything more than gossip, who knows? What would you like to take a look at?
I think I'd like to talk to the upstarts.
Okay.
the ones already vying for my attention.
Okay, so you're going to go for the young'uns, no problem at all. So these young elite, again, upper class or at least rich merchant types are coming up to you. You feel that the challenge here is to filter through them all to find one that's got any form of talent. So what I'd like here is 2 checks. Give me an insight check and an intelligence check.
Insight and a pure intelligence. Okay. So we got a 12 for insight and a 17 for intelligence.
Okay.
So
Okay.
not the best, but hey ho.
Okay, so the person that you managed to corner, filtering through all these, as I say, up-and-coming ladder climbers, he turns around to you and he says, my name is Justin, and very pleased to meet you, Glory. It's fantastic to see someone who is celebrated for her talents around here. I'm afraid there's so many people that are just coming in here off the back of their name. And you start to turn the conversation. As I expect you would do. And the bit where I'll kind of bring you in so we can actually do some roleplay is he goes, Arcane and Enchantment. Well, that game, yes, I don't know personally how they do it, but one of my friends, very close personal friends, you understand, is one of the families who are dealing with this. They are currently selling residuum that is from the city.
Oh, really? That's quite fascinating. I never played much with Residium back home. I'm quite interested in it. It seems such an opportunity to learn.
I'm sure she'll be able to get you some if you wish. Shall I introduce you?
Oh, yes, please.
You will owe me. I'll make sure that I get you on my arm going into another soiree at another time, if that's okay. That'll be more than enough payment, I think.
That sounds like a lovely idea.
Fantastic. Very well, then. Let's go and meet Loredana. He takes you to one of the cliques, one of the sit-down cliques, walks straight up to a bored, raven-haired woman in young woman. She's around about 17. And she is sat there in what seems to be kind of a shell-colored dress. So it's a strange mix of pinks and creams and browns, but it seems to work. It's got this kind of strange pearlescence to it. And she sat there completely bored. And when Justin walks up, he kind of looks back at you, tips a little bit of a wink, and then vaults over the table, landing in the chair behind her. She turns around, startled, and goes, "Oh, Jay!" and just punches him in the arm. And she goes, "Oh, why haven't they got any decent music? Oh, really? And this lot, just, they're as dry as you'd expect them to be." At which point, a woman who is quite clearly her mother goes, "Oh, please, darling, Justin, will you please just take her on the dance floor or something like that?" And he goes, "I've got one better. We're going to go and speak to a friend of mine." And she goes, "Not on the balcony. You stay in this room." And he goes, "Of course, my lady." And she gives him a kind of mock smouldering look. He takes Loredana by the arm and walks the 5 foot away to you and says, "Let's get another table." He sits you down and starts talking in a very showing off and boisterous way about things in the city, opinions. He seems to be very of his own opinions. And he does manage to get Loredana laughing, largely by some of the ridiculousness that he, by which he is clearly getting certain parts of the city wrong and then laughing at himself. You have a feeling that he uses laughing at himself a lot. And after a while, her mood lifts, and she turns around and says, "So, tell me about yourself, Glory."
Oh, well, I've only been in the city for a few years, and it's a lot different from back home, so
Where is home?
I find it so fascinating. Oh, I'm from Skaldra, Atal Salar.
Her eyes light up. She goes, "You come from where the dragons come from?" And then,
Yes.
almost like she's seen it for the first time, she suddenly checks out your skin
Mhm.
and realizes that your scales aren't makeup. Fascinating. It must be such a more interesting place than. And then she throws her hands up with disgust at this gold leafed room, this brightly lit, brightly colored, incredibly warm, incredibly beautiful room with this wonderful music and free alcohol and amazing food. And she throws her hands up as if she's disgusted by it all and goes, "So you're a traveler?" And there's a look
Yeah.
in her eyes.
Ooh.
Oh, you must tell me all about your travels. I it's just not the same from books, face to face. Will you have tea with me tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sounds like a lovely time to me.
She reaches into a small bag that's at her hip and she pulls out a small card bordered in lace and hands it to you with both hands and says, "My address is on there. I would love to hear just everything about it." And you see something that you're quite familiar with. She's got Wanderlust.
Mm.
She clearly is in a closeted life and just wants to see the world.
Poor lady.
She's not flirting with you, but
No.
what she believes your lifestyle is like, she's suddenly completely taken by it. Justin then turns around and says, "Glory here is looking for something, so I'm pretty sure your request for stories will require a certain amount of back payment." And she looks almost disapprovingly at you, and he goes, "Glory's an enchantress. She would like to have some residuum." "Oh, that. Oh, I can get you some from my desk. That's not a problem. Father gives me some so that I can continue my studies. I'm in the university."
Oh. Yeah. Uh, I lived in the city of scholars back home. We had different cities for different professions, so to speak.
Fascinating. I know
Yeah,
this is an industrial city, but to have districts that are made for different purposes, that's very strange. I would
it's
like to know.
mostly because uh we in these cities are built on plateaus with the temples. It's such a beautiful sight over the jungle.
Oh, uh, jungles,
Hmm.
plateaus. You mean your cities are high up and they look over
Yes.
jungles, and you can see she's painting this picture in her
Hmm.
head of what you what it must be like to look out on one of your cities. And she said, "I want to hear it all. Uh, well, you can tell me some now." And she starts extracting from you descriptions of your homeland,
Mm.
and you can tell that it's very easy uh, to get her attention. Justin, on the other hand, he every now and again reminds you of his existence because you have clearly locked onto your target, and she's very much infatuated with the romanticized version of this adventurer hero that she has in front of her. So every now and again, he kind of says something as if to say, "Hey, I still exist. Remember, you owe me a favor." Um, and you start to describe various things. I would like you to make a performance check, um, to see exactly how much of a hero you become to this young woman.
Oh dear. A performance check.
Absolutely.
Right. That's not too bad.
There's a certain amount of success you already have. I just want to see if I add anything to it.
16 plus 4, that's a 20.
A 20. She is absolutely enraptured with you as a personal hero now. Okay. And she says, tomorrow, should we say morning tea? Which is about 11 a.m.
Oh, that will work.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. And you carry on talking for as long as it is polite before you start to think about dealing with the second part of your mission. Because Loredana...
Getting laid.
Yeah. Loredana, obviously, she's...
Too young?
Yes, she's young. She sees you as a hero, but she's clearly not interested in you in that way. You do notice from the card that her name is Loredana Mantelli. Okay, so it's the Mantelli family that you now have an in with. Okay,
I'm gonna take that as a good thing.
We'll see where it leads. As for the final part, let's just see how well you hit the dance floor. Give me another performance check, and we will see.
Don't fail me now.
If you strike out or if you're going home with a friend.
Natural 20, natural 20, natural 20.
Natural 20.
It was a natural 19. So performance is plus 4. That's a 23. Glory's getting laid.
I should have given you advantage anyway because of the bigging up that you had from the clear plant from the consortium. But yeah, you are very much the focus of many people throughout the night. You go out there, you strut your stuff on the dance floor. You are still accosted by a lot of up-and-coming people trying to make sure that you remember their name. But after a while, there's only 2 or 3 that you actually remember, and the rest you kind of let go. But yes, you find that amongst them are a number of women. I'm going to ask, do you want to attract an ambitious woman? So somebody who is coming to you because she thinks that you're powerful, and and somebody who is as powerful as they are. Somebody who wants to have a peer who is driven. Do you want a sycophantic partner? So somebody that's fawning over you and basically being all kind of, oh, flutter the fan. Oh, such a hero. Which of the 2 would you go for?
The first one.
The first one. Okay. The person that you, with the woman that you end up taking away, is a. Let me just roll on. Thankfully, I have a random NPC generator that I've done on Excel. So let's see.
In D&D, we use Excel.
Okay. You actually a slight-figured female Eladrin, and she is scarred down one side of her face. As you're dancing, she sings. She's incredibly musical. You kind of know that you get her besotted with you when she starts chewing her hair. And when you go to one side and start talking to her, she does reveal that the pendant around her neck is a family heirloom, and it's her most treasured possession. And that's largely because it's the last remaining remnant of her family, which used to be a very powerful noble family, but now has fallen into disgrace. And she is trying to prove her worth in place of just relying on the family name. And you're like, yep, you've got substance, I like you. And you carry on dancing the night away, great conversation, laughing, drinking, And yeah, she comes back home to. Hang on. Yeah,
Are
she
you
comes back.
going to her place or are you going to the tavern?
I was about to say, where are you waking up? The tavern or her place?
Probably her place.
Righto. Okay. Her place is a seaward-facing upper room in the promenade. So it looks out over the sea. As a result, you know it's a very expensive room, and a lovely night is had. Let's say. Okay. I may as well put in her name now. Her name is Charis. That's Charis. Milune, which is Milune.
Melon.
Okay. Milune. Okay. Charis Milune.
Melon.
Okay. And she's originally from the Amberglade Canton in Meridian. Okay. So yeah, her family were disgraced for some reason. She doesn't go into it that much. Okay. So if that's everybody, we'll go to the morning.
Yes.
Okay. As Glory is walking back through the streets, humming to herself, her tail kind of making patterns in the dust as the sun.
Is she doing the walk of shame? Is she wearing the same clothes she walked out with, or has she changed?
I will remind you, there is no such thing as a walk of shame. There is only the strut of conquest.
Yes, strut of conquest.
It's the walk of glory.
Okay.
I was going to say something of the kind, but you guys nailed it much better than I could. So, as she's walking back, humming, her tail idly drawing patterns in the dust, and it's around about an hour before sunrise, and I say, the city never sleeps. It's 24/7 industrial city. Cora and Farewell wake up to this beautiful, mellifluous, almost unearthly sound. Farewell knows it well. And it is basically a dawn chorus, a dawn set of hymns that is sung by the congregation in the Raven Queen Temple.
I've missed this.
You get up, you walk out from the vestry into the church proper, and if you wish, Farewell, you can join. You have sung these many times, or you can just sit there and watch them with Cora as you see a number of people are in the congregation. Even though it's insanely early in the morning, there are people there just starting their day with this small amount of beauty, despite the fact that their lives are normally fraught with so much travail.
I will start, because routine will come into my head, and I'll start moving towards, and then I'll stop. I'll turn around and I'll look at Cora and go, "We've got a duel, and I need my armor and I need my gear. We better move."
Yeah.
And I think we're going to move it. No, I'm not. I'm wearing robes. I took my tree off. So I am not a tree. Although naked. I'm not naked. I'm wearing robes. I'm naked under my robes.
I was saying naked from your armor is what I meant, but yeah.
But I think what we're probably in agreement here, Kate, that we're going to double time it back to the inn.
Because we have no idea where we're going. So
we have no idea where we're going.
Really.
And B, I need to get armored up, because if I'm going to be helping him, I'm not going to do it in my lack of Sunday best, shall we say? So we'll double time it to there to get changed. So I don't know if we'll make it in time, but I hope we do.
Okay. you guys head back, and you're looking at the sun. Well, you're looking at the kind of corona coming up from the horizon, and you know that you've got enough time to get back to the tavern, thankfully. Eclipse and Aiden, you wake up to the smell of freshly brewed coffee that's been placed just inside your door by Madeline, one of the barkeeps here, and you know full well that downstairs.
Did they give Eclipse a saucer of milk as a joke, or
If that's what you've arranged, yes. If not, they would not mock the people who are basically they're linked to Renata Green.
Okay, it would be funny though.
I'm sure they've thought about it and dared each other several times, just never followed through. So you guys get up knowing full well there is the promise of meat and eggs and many other things dripping in delicious juices downstairs to get your constitution going first thing in the morning. Aiden, how are you preparing? Please say montage.
I down the food quickly as I can. I down the coffee because I need help staying awake. I'm probably still gonna fall asleep at some point. I don't know, like I already changed out of my stupid soiree outfit, so I'm gonna be wearing my regular outfit again. Just already have my rapier sheath in my left hand and just ready to go.
Okay. By this time, Noki has already caught word of what you're going to do, and he says, "Mr. Aiden, will you accept a small piece of help from me?"
Sure.
He reaches under the bar, pulls out what seems to be a small green liquor bottle, corks it, pours out a shot, and says, "To your good health, sir." Hands it to you.
I drink it.
Okay. Roll 1d4 and add 4.
7.
Yeah, absolutely.
Temporary hit point.
Gain 7 temporary hit points.
Yeah, boy.
I'm looking if there's anything I can help you with. I guess I could try to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on the guy so he falls prone, but that's about it.
Okay. So,
I'm gonna...
as you're eating your breakfast, the remaining members of your party turn up in various states of readiness and bliss. And, yeah, the elephant in the room today is Aiden's duel, which is going to be going on in about 20 minutes.
I'll be right there. I'll be right ready. 1 second, and I'm just gonna sprint to my room, and I'm just pulling gear off as I'm going up the stairs, and just moving and bash through the door, and be like, "Come on, armor on." It's that awkward bit because, of course, it's proper plate armor that I can't quite do it by myself.
Yep.
I usually have one of you guys to help.
Cora's coming up the stairs to get herself ready as well, so I think she will come and assist.
Okay.
And then I'll just...
Glory will shout out her order to Noki and then go up to change before coming down and eating it.
Sure. Okay.
In fact, yeah, actually, as she's running up the stairs, Cora might be like, "Bacon buddy, ×2. 4 of them, go."
Bacon buddy, stat! Okay.
And if she's like me, crispy bacon, damn it.
Absolutely. I want to give you inspiration just for quoting that crispy bacon is the bomb.
That's about my
yeah.
inspiration. I should actually start using them. I don't think you can stack them.
So,
as Clips will just remind Aiden that he has 3 healing potions in his belt, should he need them.
Oh yeah, I have those.
Yes, I just remembered.
I remember. I'll try to remember that.
you do your preparations, and around about a few minutes before you were thinking of leaving anyway, Noki turns around to you and says, "It is nearly sunrise, my friends. I think you
Yeah, I
should
need
get
to
out
get
there,
going.
otherwise he will declare you a coward."
Yeah, I should probably get going.
Yeah. Go! And I'm actually like almost pushing him out of the door.
Okay,
Aiden, dear,
sure.
which one of us is your second? We never decided.
Farewell.
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 Aww.
Are you okay with that farewell? I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
supposed to
that's
go
actually a
kill
good question. Are
people.
you okay with that?
If Farewell is not okay, I can volunteer as your second. I can probably stab him.
Stab him? I can throw acid at him.
I don't think we actually
don't-
want to kill him. I'm not sure.
But
a fight
it's
to the
duel
death
to the death.
typically tends to, have that.
Sleeped coup de grace.
Assure you, this is not my first duel. I will be honest. I'm usually cleaning it up once it's all ended, but I have done this before, once or twice. So no, I've not really got a problem. And come on, we can walk and talk.
Yeah.
I'm slamming him towards the thing.
Fine.
I'd kind of rather the farewell was the one helping and not in the line of fire.
Well, the second only. Well, we'll see what happens. But if Farewell's feeling uncomfortable,
Basically, my role as a second, for if anybody's interested, will be if Aiden is unable to fight, I will fight in his stead.
Exactly.
Yes.
And if there is
Basically, if
anything
Aiden
untoward,
gets killed, you
I
get
can
to kill
step
him.
in.
No.
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 If Aiden gets killed, he loses the duel. If the guy cheats, then I can call that cheating and step in. But it's more along the lines of if for whatever reason Aiden is incapable due to no fault of his own for doing it, I can step in and act as in his defense.
Oh, so that's how you do it over here.
Yeah.
All right, sure. Let's just go.
Go. Jewel.
Okay.
Yep, we have sprinted to the duel zone.
So you guys, good reference. You guys head out, and it's not that far for you guys to get to the square in the middle of the city. You head out, and if you're uncertain as to where the dueling grounds are going to be, the crowd tells you everything. It's not a huge crowd, about 60 odd people. Some people are quite clearly there knowing what's going to happen, and there's other people who are quite clearly looking around going, I'm here because everybody else is. What's going on?
Okay. Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes. Fantastic. So, what would the rules be about buffing? Would I know it's better to do it in the carriage before we get out, or would I get away with it doing it kind of privately just before it started?
Well, it's so close that you can walk there, so you're pretty much walking anyway. Buffing, officially, you know that buffing is against the rules. Realistically, you know that everyone, and I mean everyone, does it. Especially amongst the upper class,
It's like steroids in wrestling.
Amongst the upper class, they pay for the best buffs.
Okie dokie. In that case, just before we hit the crowd, I will cast. Oh, apparently you cannot cast that at a higher level. That's interesting. I will put my hand on his shoulder, and I will cast Shield of Faith on him just before we go through.
Sure.
So, Aiden, you now have a +2 bonus to your AC, and that lasts 10 minutes.
Okay.
So get started quickly.
You notice a very familiar figure, Aiden, walking up to you. It's Morag. She steps up to you and says, "You're going to need this, lad." Pulls out a small bottle that has a pale blue clear liquid inside, and floating inside the liquid is a small solid object. She goes, "Drink the lot, even the bit."
Ooh, bottoms up.
Your strength is now 19 for the next 10 minutes.
So if your strength is better than your dex, use strength for your attacks.
Yeah, bear in mind, she has no idea of his fighting style. She was just like, okay, this one, I guess. So she picked something up.
Well,
All right. So after this round of encouragement and buffing, I'm going to imagine there's like a circle either by like probably made by the crowd, right? I'm gonna step into the circle. Is he there?
He is.
I'm stood next to Aiden.
Okay. The half-orc is there, and he's got a cruel-looking scimitar that he's kind of flicking between his hands. It's pretty much a blur from where you are, and he... Let me just put that there. Cool.
Shoot him!
A good blade or just regular old you can find anywhere blade?
It's from what you can tell from the times that it stays still, it seems like a very well polished, good metal, and finely honed. This is a slashing weapon. The half-orc is, as I say, tossing it between his hands, and kind of as he's doing so, he's doing stretches and things like that to limber up, getting ready. And there's a quite official-looking gentleman who is in the middle of the ring, and he goes, finally, everybody here. Permission for this duel has been granted by Duke Edmund Ostermark himself by application of the sponsors involved. It can be to the death or unto the mercy, whichever is granted first. Both of you now have the option, if you wish, to beg for your lives from your opponent so that this duel does not go ahead. However, know to be done so would put you into disgrace. You, Tarok, do you wish to beg for your life from this young man? And he goes, "Nah, I'll leave that to him." You. He gets a little kind of person whispering to him, "Aiden, do you beg for your life from this man? Or will you...
I just want to get this over with.
As you wish. Declare your seconds." Tarok
This
points...
guy... Farewell.
Very well.
this guy.
Tarok points
Thanks,
to
dude.
Sorry,
a scarred dwarf behind him. He goes, "We won't need seconds. We're both present. Let's just get on with this."
I draw my rapier.
Don't forget your mango.
Yeah, I take out the mangoes. And I don't know if you guys have played Dark Souls 3, but I point the rapier at him. I put the dagger over my arm like this, and like I'm pointing at him. It was like, come on.
Oh boy.
"Let none interfere." And the man steps back. At this point, initiative, please. We have 16 minutes, and if you don't kill him in 16 minutes, we will just continue it at the beginning next session, because starting in combat, no problem.
Nah. It's just that we will be disappointed
Oh
if
my
you
god!
won't kill him in 10 minutes.
Did you roll a 1?
Did you slip and
Yes.
kill yourself on
You
your
rolled
own?
a 1!
Did you roll a 1 for your initiative?
Initiative's the best time to roll a 1.
Technically, it's a 5.
Okay, 5. No, it's good to know, because
Yeah.
1s
Yeah.
don't mean anything, natural 20s don't mean anything when it's initiative. It's just a number. Let's see how you do.
Exactly. Best
He
time to
might
roll.
roll like a
Oh
2.
my good fucking god.
What did he roll?
Did he roll 1 as well?
His initiative total is a 2.
Please tell me that both of them just go for their guns and fall face front forward onto the dirt. That would just be the best.
I like that idea, so I'm going to take Kate's inspiration here, and you both lurch forward and then realize you're on a cobbled street. And even though you lurch forward with all the zeal that you can to make sure that you commit to this fight, halfway through your charge, you do slow down a little bit, thinking, I'm going to go ass over tit if I'm not careful. However, you get your footing first, Aiden. What are you doing?
Well,
Stop.
I go up to him and I stab a motherfucker.
As you do.
Go for it.
Come on, use some blood shit.
Actually, yeah, as I'm walking towards him, I'm gonna use my Crimson Right.
Yep.
The rules.
Get some fucking frost bullshit on this.
I'm gonna use Right of Ice. I'm gonna do
Sure.
extra cold damage.
Yeah.
How many hit points do I lose? 4.
Ooh.
So.
Yeah, you got temporary hit points, dude.
No, but
temporary hit points.
it decreases my maximum as well.
Yeah, but you've only lost 4 of the extra 7 that you got.
I
Yeah.
guess.
And you have.
But whatever.
3
Anyway,
healing
so
potions.
I put the ice on my rapier. I go up to him and I stab him up.
Okay.
That's a 19 to hit.
Yeah, absolutely. So you come forward, and as the frost hits your rapier, you do notice that he's quite clearly buffed as well. And you lash out with the rapier, hoping to strike true. And even though this guy is moving and dodging and weaving, and it's clear that he's got quite a lot of resilience to him, you are just like, yeah, I'm accustomed to people moving, mate. And you just anticipate where he's going to be, and your blade is just there in time to just stab straight into him. Roll for damage.
Okay, so it's 8 points of piercing damage.
Ouch.
Plus an extra 1 point of cold damage.
Brilliant. Yeah, it jabs into him, and as he grimaces from the pain of the attack, there's this really kind of sick smile to his face, and he's just there looking you dead in the eye, smiling, happy to be hurt, I guess. And you do notice that his rapier suddenly has an oily sheen as he decides to attack back. Drew, do me a quick perception check.
We got a masochist on our hands here.
Oh, by the way, Rodrigo, yeah, I was just reminding me of all the things you have with your main goosh, that you can increase your AC by 2 as a reaction.
Right.
As well.
Thank you. Perception, that will be an 18.
18, absolutely. Although the rest of the crowd can't really see it because he's moving so fast, you do notice that suddenly his muscles seem to engorge. His shirt suddenly looks a lot tighter, and some of the veins on his neck and his muscles are bulging. And he comes at you. You're like, dude, you've grown very slightly, only imperceptibly, but you're accustomed to seeing people moving this fast, and so, and also he's your main focus right now. So he comes up and swings with this cruel-looking scimitar. So let's. Okay, so his first attack, because he does, you notice he does his attack in doublets. So slash, 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 slash. The first slash goes wide, mostly because he reacts to the pain. The second one is a 23 to hit, which I believe hits.
Yeah, even with the main ghost, it's
Yeah.
gonna hit.
Well,
Go
hang
ahead.
on. You've got an extra buff on you, don't you?
Yeah, it's 8. I have 18 AC thanks to Farewell's buff. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And the +2 is 20. Okay.
It's 20. So yeah, it's
Okay.
gonna hit anyway.
So despite the fact that you start to consider whether or not you can parry this blow, the slash comes through and strikes, and you take 8 points of slashing damage. And I'd like you to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh, this
Oh,
motherfucker. Oh, this motherfucker.
Oh no, not charisma on Aiden.
7.
Oh.
Okay. As the blade bites through your skin, the poison takes effect.
Wait, charisma or constitution?
Charisma.
Okay.
This is a very strange type of poison, and it's effectively a neurotoxin. Okay. From now on, you get to attack with advantage.
But
So does he.
yeah, thought so. All right.
Okay? So
I'm gonna.
go ahead and attack.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna
are
attack
you
with.
both rolling with? So what's happening? They're both rolling
Basically,
with
we're both. I can attack him with advantage, but he gets to attack me with advantage.
Can you
Mechanically,
choose to not attack him?
no, you have to attack every turn as well. Basically, it's set either to reckless attacks.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's the toxin
All right,
in
so
his blood.
attack with advantage. You fucking serious? 15.
15.
really?
You try not to scream with rage, and you lash out with the rapier. He just kind of smiles and dances out of the way of the blade, and you realize that now you're moving how he expects you to move.
Right.
Rodrigo, is your strength better than your dex at the moment?
They're literally the same.
Okay.
Right. It's his turn.
Sure.
He turns on you and swings. The first one is a 19 to hit.
I'm gonna use my reaction with.
Sure. You.
So he doesn't hit.
Yep. So suddenly your offhand moves of its own accord. The main ghost comes up and just smacks the blade away with a speed that momentarily gets a kind of confused look on his face. You notice, as I say, because he fights in these doublets, slash, 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 slash. Because you end up blocking the first attack, the second attack comes back and he only gets an 8 to hit. And you've just got him off rhythm. And because you got him off rhythm, he doesn't manage to strike. Your turn.
I mean, I'm still in frenzy or reckless or whatever, so I have to attack him anyway.
You have to attack him, and it's with advantage.
I hope that it's not as bad as a roll as the last one. It's as bad as the roll as the last one. 12. Oh my god, I'm gonna get rid of this dice.
Well,
Uh,
yes,
you
I'm
remember,
dying today.
if you want to heal, you can chug one of your healing potions as a bonus action, is it?
Ye.
Simon,
Yeah.
seeing what's just gone on, I want to sort of step back into the crowd a bit, making sure I've still got line of sight with him, and I'm going to cast Healing Word at 2nd level
Okay.
on Aiden.
No interference.
Your spell.
No one here is fighting with honor, so.
Farewell. Your spell fizzles immediately.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. You let the spell go. Everything's ready. You utter the word, and you can just feel the spell unravel as it leaves your lips.
Shit.
But
Would I?
strangely, the AC buff still is working. You can feel it's working. Okay.
But
Do I notice this?
You would probably notice the confused look on my face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say that's
I feel
fair.
I'd be paying attention. Okay, cool. Good to know.
I was gonna say, but yeah, if you feel like you're getting low, Rodrigo, just chug a healing potion.
I'm
Okay.
okay.
Okay. So you just attacked, didn't you? But you missed.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. He launches forward, absolutely enraged that he didn't manage to land a blow on you last turn, and he hits you with a natural 20.
Jesus
Oh
fuck.
shit!
Doing 14 points of slashing damage.
Do I have that ability yet?
Give me a second. I need
Tell
to do that.
ability.
I need to do the maths.
It's 6th level. You get 6th level foul. I know which part I'm talking about.
No, shit. Okay, Simon, just in advance, knowing that this is perhaps not going very well, I will have prepared to just run in and be prepared to cast Spare the Dying on him if he drops.
Sure.
So I'm readying myself to sprint in and do that if necessary.
Absolutely. Okay.
And if that happens as well, if Aiden goes down, Eclipse will basically go and stab the guy. Or no, she's gonna shoot him. Is what she's gonna do.
Yeah,
From
good
hiding.
idea.
I'm gonna go off and stealth in the crowd. Can I do that, Simon?
Yep. Roll for stealth.
That's an 18.
Okay, noted. I'll tell you whether you get sneak attack at the appropriate point.
Okay.
So that's you guys set up. Aiden was the last person to hit. Oh, sorry. His first strike was a natural 20. His second strike is a 23. However, it's just a glancing shot and only does you 3 points of slashing damage as it just nicks your shoulder.
Cool.
And to remind people, his coat, after he gets slashed, his coat heals back up. His skin doesn't.
Well, I guess it's kind of obvious what I'm gonna do. Bonus action, I'm gonna chug a healing potion.
Okay. I would like you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Good thing I'm good at dexterity. Hope the dice don't screw me over.
My fucking god, this is so stressful.
Famous last words.
I want
16.
to. I want to join in so bad.
Okay, 16. As you pull the healing potion out and raise it to your lips, there's a sudden phew, and the healing potion explodes in your hand.
My god, really? 16 didn't.
As a crossbow bolt fires and shoots the vial, making it shatter in your hand.
Do I see where that came from?
Do me a perception check.
Because I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that.
Well, at least you now know that you can shoot into whatever is blocking Farewell's magic.
I'm very pissed at this guy.
Yeah.
I'm going for the eye.
Oh, shit. Eclipse, what was your result?
13.
13. You do not see where the bolt comes from. Go for it, Aiden.
Fucking serious? Why am I rolling so bad?
You are rolling with advantage, yeah?
You're too drunk.
I am rolling with advantage, but I'm rolling like trash rolls.
Okay.
So what's the number in the dice?
A 6 and a 7 plus 6 to hit.
Holy fuck, dude! Put those dice in jail.
So,
I look at how many dice I have in jail right now. I have like 3. Anyways, that will be.
damn you, geometry!
Wait.
Someone use real dice instead of your dice rollers. I don't
13. 13 to hit.
How come 16 doesn't do it for a second? That's
Yeah, I don't hit 13.
Hugely stacked against Aiden.
I don't know why I'm rolling so badly.
Okay,
Anyways, yeah.
so you're 13, you lunge forward, and knowing the dance of rage, this half-orc just pirouettes out the way, laughing as he does so. He's going to try to bring the the scimitar down on your right leg, hoping to hobble you and get you basically on the floor. So the first one with advantage is 18. I believe you can parry that.
I can parry that because that's just my AC.
Okay, cool. In that case, yeah, so you use your one parry that you can do per turn, raising your AC to 20, and the main ghost once again slaps it out of his hand, and again, he's looking really aggrieved. The second one is a 19. That one definitely hits. And that's 8 points of damage as he manages to pull it straight across your hamstring.
Are you still alive?
Barely.
Okay. You take it with a grunt, and the fact that you don't go down after he's done that much damage to your leg, you get a momentary look of respect from the guy. Go for it. Attack him.
First of all, I want to try again and to get down a healing potion. Hopefully I roll better. Dexterity save now.
Dexterity saving throw, Eclipse, roll perception if you're still looking for this guy.
Yes.
I don't get it.
Okay.
Simon, I would point out
one shatters in
my
your hand.
passive perception
Mm-hmm.
is quite high.
How
I
high?
20 something.
It's in the 20s.
Okay.
I mean, I think I'd be looking around as well. Like we all saw the bolts hit
Okay.
at least.
Cora, I'll allow for passive to happen now because you are focusing on Aiden, but the second bolt that comes on you, you're like, what, again? And your head snaps round. Farewell. Kate, give me a quick perception check if you're looking around.
So this is second bolt? Just oh right.
Yeah, second bolt shatters.
He went to drink again.
Yeah, shatters the second healing potion. Yeah.
I already rolled for attack.
I'm very distracted.
Okay, so farewell. You see that the bolts are coming from. It comes out of what is a quick shimmer in the air. You have a feeling it's either an invisible person or some sort of kind of teleporting bolt type thing. But I will allow you, because it's so high, I will allow you to. Sikian, he's got a passive in the 20s. I will allow you to roll next turn to see if you can intercept this invisible person. You know to look for the shimmer. Okay. Aiden, what did you roll to hit? Because this is we're a couple of minutes past 11, so we either wrap this up or we pause it. Aiden, what do you
I rolled
do to
21 to hit, and I go for his eye.
Okay. 21 to hit. Roll for damage.
Please roll good.
That's gonna be 10 points of piercing damage.
Yep.
Plus an extra 3 of cold damage.
Ooh. Yeah, you lance that thing straight into his eye. He pulls his head away just in time. There's a general "Haw!" from the crowd. They honestly think that you almost kebabbed his brain. But he moves his head just in time. The eye is gone. Yeah, the eye is just completely gone. There's blood running down one side of his face. You've hit exactly where you want it to. He just threw this scream of absolute rage.
And it's cold. It fucking hurts.
Oh god, yeah. This guy, a stiff breeze could take this guy down right now. And just with the last of his energy, he.
Simon, by the way, for the shooter, I got a 21 for my perception. My perception check. Did I see anything?
Yes, you saw what Farewell saw. I will allow you to check for the shimmer next turn. If I see it, I'm basically gonna shoot that. Okay. So this is pretty much what I assume is going to be the final round anyway. So let's just do this, and then we'll end the session. And we don't have time for a raid today, but I will keep today's raid for tomorrow, for next week. Sorry. he launches himself in the air, pulling the scimitar up in the air in a kind of heaven to earth strike. Once again, trying for these 2 heavy slashing attacks. The first one.
So far, he gets 2 attacks.
Yeah, it's like
Fighters, man, they're good at one
Okay,
thing.
so the first one is a 19, which you can parry.
what's the
Okay.
second?
The second one.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit.
The second one is a 50.
I parry the first one.
You parry the first one. The second one glances off your coat, and you roll with it. So you just turn your body at the right time. The scimitar skitters off the back of your coat with a little bit of divine reinforcement. And you notice that he hits the floor, spins, he's off balance because of the reckless attack, and you're in a perfect position to finish
Okay.
this. Recommendation,
Bastard!
don't miss.
First of all, I try to down the healing potion just in case.
Okay,
Somehow.
Can I try to shoot
What's
the guy
the
before
point?
things...
okay.
Before...
In order, very quickly, Dex check, Aiden, perception check, Eclipse, and Farewell.
Do I need to perception check again, or just an attack?
Can I do a
Perception check.
Even though I'm
21.
rolling like crap?
Cora can take a perception check with disadvantage if she wishes, because she didn't
Natural 20.
see the previous shimmer.
Yeah, 21 for me and a natural 24 Corinne.
14 for my dex save.
Okay, 14. So the third and final healing potion explodes in Aiden's hand. At that point, a shimmer goes off as the bolt leaves, but Farewell and Eclipse were looking for it, and Cora, with her disadvantage, was looking at what Farewell was looking at. Cora, what's your result?
Perception for me is a 15.
Okay, you see it on the nose.
Wait. No, that's a lie. Perception is a 14.
You don't see it, because it was on the nose previously.
Okay, guiding bolt.
I shoot it.
Sure, for the sake of convenient mechanics, let's roll the guiding bolt first, and then Eclipse can have her advantage. Actually, sorry, guiding bolt first with disadvantage, and then Eclipse can roll standard if it hits.
Unless...
Are you fucking kidding me? I roll
I'm waiting to roll for my hit.
I roll a natural 20 with one dice and an
Oh my
11
God.
with and an 11 with the other. So there's +7, so it's 18 to hit on disadvantage.
Okay, you hit the invisible person. Roll your damage.
So that's 4. As I
Noted.
roll 2 twos.
Yeah.
A 5 and a 3, so that's 11.
Okay, yep, 11 points of damage, and even though this person is invisible, their outline suddenly shimmers with this golden light, at which point, Eclipse, you fire. Roll a regular attack.
Do they drop their concentration, by the way?
No.
Rude.
Do I still get sneak attack on it?
I'm going to go with yes. I will give you sneak attack in this case.
Yeah. Another natural 20.
Oh shit!
Oh my god, are you serious?
Aiden, you need those dice.
You need to take Corinne's dice.
Yeah, please.
Wait,
Guys,
you-
I'm not-
the age and intervention.
Yeah,
and
sorry. As Aiden in the chat has pointed out, that's 12.
I was
I'm
about to
tired.
thank him. Yeah, I was
It's
about to
11
thank him, so
o'clock. I'm tired, dude.
yeah. Yep, let's finish this.
Sorry.
Yep,
No,
that's
it's
fine.
fine, man. I'm fucking loving this. It's just I'm knackered. I've been at work all day.
Do I still have advantage?
12, 17, 3 till.
In English, please.
I am thinking. I'm
17
rolling
plus
6
3.
dice. So I'm rolling 2 more dice.
Okay,
And that is. So I'm counting because I'm not done yet.
okay.
2,
You count while we do
4,
Aiden.
30 points of damage.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking, you are a
Sorry.
monster.
Okay. There's a oof, and then a scattering of dust on the floor. At the point where your bolt hits, the golden outline disappears. And Aiden, your attack, please.
That's a. Let me count this properly. That's a. That's a 15 to hit.
A 15.
Oh.
A 15 to hit.
Does he have does he have a lower AC because he's only got one eye? I'm trying anything. I'm trying absolutely anything so you can hit this fucking bastard. I will throw myself on the DM's mercy to be like, technically he's lost perception in one side of his head.
Like anything, because I didn't come on.
At this, yeah.
Because he's been cheating. Can't we call him out for cheating? Like having this invisible guy shoot like Aiden's fucking health
I don't know, but you
A
fucking
question.
mulched.
Question, now that the invisible thing is dead, can I try and throw a spell?
A very good question, and my answer is this. Thank you to Cactus, Commander Root, Frontier MTS, Roan and Aiden, as always. Fantastic to see you guys again. Seekian, Slowcool, and potentially some bots, but anyone who isn't a bot, Cogwhistle, you're probably not a bot, and another TV viewer probably is. But if you're not, thank you very much for watching. We will see you the same time next week, 8 p.m. Thursday. That's UK time. And we'll see what happens next session. Thank you very much.
He's done that on purpose.
I missed how that ended. I was like, what's that?
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.